Alright, my name is researcher Rowe Lucian, and today I will be talking about a known group of interest to the Foundation, the Parawatch Wiki. Group of Interest, Parawatch Wiki. Database ID, 1109. Area of Operations, North America, Europe, Online Sites. Threat Level, Green. Overview. The Parawatch Wiki is an online web forum of conspiracy theorists, paranormal enthusiasts, and amateur writers, operating with the intent of investigating and exposing anomalous phenomena. Geographically, the group is disparate, its users primarily hailing from North America and Europe. No common background exists. Age, careers, and other demographics vary. The group's operations are mainly in the form of compiling stories on their forum, detailing encounters with paranormal phenomena, historical cases, and any unusual events users have experienced. While moderation has enabled a loose degree of coordination, further efforts are hindered by the sheer spread of the user base. Any impact the site could have is limited. Several clusters of members are noted to collaborate in exploring forested regions of the United States and Canada, though they are relatively small in comparison to the full group. Containment approach: minimal. Although Parawatch is heavily invested in its investigation of the anomalous, continuous monitoring has found that the group lacks a cohesive understanding of the Foundation's existence, the Veil, and the nature of anomalous phenomena. Theories posed by the group lack context on actual circumstances, leading to inaccurate beliefs that limit the potential for an information breach. This, in combination with obscurity to the general public and doubt towards the truthfulness of their stories, prevents them from being a significant threat to the Veil's stability. As such, Parawatch is to be left active as a disinformation measure to hinder and mislead investigations into the existence of the Veil. Any leads may be misdirected by Foundation implants at their discretion. Recognition of actual circumstances will be met with the deletion of the offending content and the progressive amnestification of the user base. No direct action is to be taken at this time.
My brother used to be a fisherman. 6 in the morning, he'd shift out of bed, drift into the kitchen, sift through breakfast without so much as a single clink of a utensil, and once I'd wake up, the house would be empty. He'd drive to the lake, a few minutes off the town outskirts, and once he was content, he'd drive home. Same hours, same timing. Always caught, always released. Always kept to the vicinity of town. The small-scale lifestyle. Liked it best that way, he told me. I never worried about him. He was a strong guy, and even if hic flare radiated off of him with enough force to set a Geiger counter ringing, he was smart. He could find his way through a forest and trace his steps with the precision to repeat the same path a day later. Knew better than to go out fishing when it was night. It's when the weird things start to swim. But even the few times he did, he'd turn back safe and sound. It was why he was the only person people trusted with finding me when I went missing. Here's what I remember of it myself. At 4 in the morning, I left bed, unable to sleep, and went to the kitchen to make breakfast. I left a set of plates and utensils on the table, pulled my brother's fishing gear from the closet, and without a single clink, stumbled out of the house. From what I hear, several people saw me treading the path my brother normally drove along to the lake. I'd never gone that way before. All I was thinking of was the dull, warm wind and a pinching pain at the roof of my mouth. No one intervened. They all thought I was heading to see my brother. I blacked out. Here's what other people have told me. At 6 in the morning, my brother found blood in the kitchen. It trailed straight through the woods and stopped 3 feet from the lake edge. Footprints halted too. He knocked from door to door, asking anyone if they'd seen me, and soon after, cop cars pulled in around our house. They told him to stay put, that they could handle a search and rescue operation, but while they scoured the lake, he went off on his own. My neighbors wished him luck. At 9 in the morning, he came back, my neighbors asking if he found any signs of me. My brother stepped past them and locked the front door shut. Every blind was dragged down, every curtain closed. The people who saw him go in said he had a 1,000-yard stare. He didn't come out for hours. At 6 in the afternoon, just as storm weather rolled into the region, my brother unlocked the front door. He told my neighbors he was going fishing. He carried a loaded shotgun with him to the car. No one intervened. All the police noted was that his car was parked by the lake. Sometime early in the next day, a mile from town, surrounded by nothing but tree after tree after tree, I woke up. There was a hole in the roof of my mouth. My brother's shotgun, blood smeared and unloaded, laying in my hands. Lake water soaked my clothes. I couldn't remember what happened that night. I couldn't remember where my brother went. I couldn't remember why half of him was dripping on the dirt next to me. The paramedics who found me said there was a fishhook in my mouth. I left town for good. I settled into an urban apartment, one in a city where the streetlights never fail to shield you from the shadows, where I've stayed ever since. But that night clings to me. Whether it's the numbness I feel or the blank spots I recall, what happened out there has left a permanent scar on me. Having to hear people go through similar experiences to mine, some having even less resolution than mine, makes it worse. This is why I joined Parawatch. I want to document all of the unnatural events myself and others have experienced, to inform people on what lurks just out of our sight, to help anyone who has the misfortune to encounter it. I want to bring people the resolution they need. For those of you who are passing by, I hope you take the time to read what we've compiled, to better avoid the circumstances people like myself have fallen victim to. And for those of you who are in it for the long haul, welcome to the Watch. We aren't in this darkness alone.
Foundation web crawlers are still currently scrubbing through each post on the forum to find any connection to any previous, existing, or currently undocumented SCPs. What follows is an abridged list of a number of anomalies associated with the Parawatch Wiki. SCP-5346 is a cognitohazard linked to a specific scene in the 1994 film Forrest Gump. This was brought to the Foundation's attention in March 2012, after a Parawatch post by user Rage the Comic, who expressed distress over a misremembered line in the film. SCP-5818 is a mimetic phenomenon tied to a Frankenstein-themed Burger King in Niagara Falls, Ontario. This was first exposed through an April 5, 2007 Parawatch post by user Don't Ask, who referenced ordering a Frankenstein burger, which triggers the anomalous event. SCP-4430 is an anomalous children's book titled The Faceless Live in Avonholly. This was brought to the Foundation's attention on March 29, 2015, by Parawatch user Fires, who praised the book's cult status and uniquely disturbing themes for a children's book. SCP-4901 is an amorphous, sewage-based entity tied to the anomalous murder of Rudy Benson. In a 2009 Parawatch post, user Spicy Ghost started a thread with information pooled from urban legends, which included a number of accurate details. SCP-4240 is a series of instructions, referred to as the Roundabout Game, originally posted on Parawatch.net in late 2015. SCP-7553 is an anomalous pump-action shotgun that became known to the Foundation after a post on the Parawatch Wiki by user Falcon Crazy. SCP-8939 refers to the anomalous phenomenon centered around the abandoned Hawthorne Plaza Mall. This anomaly was first brought to Foundation attention on June 17, 2016, through a Parawatch post by user Urban Horror Tales, warning of a dark entity. SCP-8870 is a humanoid entity capable of inducing fatal internal acid generation through observation. Parawatch user I Watch from the Shadows alleged its involvement in the death of pro-anomaly figure Tori Frank in a January 4, 2025 forum post. SCP-7916 is a striker-fired pistol, capable of erasing living targets, along with the very concept they represent, from existence. A group of 4 Parawatch users were involved in the most recent and final activation. SCP-7838 is a collection of anomalous artistic works referencing the Hanged King. On July 13, 2023, an anomalous Parawatch user posted a ritual performance believed to summon an entity linked to Alagata and the Court of Sken. On December 16, 2017, Parawatch user PepsiCube posted leaked UFO encounter footage on the Wiki's UFO megathread. This caused Site51's misinformation staff to take steps to conceal information about SCP-6848, a highly antimemetic object of unknown nature. SCP-7576 is the collective designation for academic and social records linked to non-existent, high-achieving American high school students, all of whom are purported to attend a fictional college called the American College of the Midwest. Parawatch user Akimbo referenced their acceptance to ACM in a July 2023 Parawatch thread. SCP-7998 is a probabilistic phenomenon that causes anomalous mutations in genetically human organisms, necessitating the enactment of the Lifted Veil Protocol. This calls the dissolution of many paranormal investigation groups, such as Parawatch. SCP-PL-046, also known as the Kruger phenomenon, is a pataphysical anomaly that causes individuals to repeatedly assume the narrative role of a final girl in slasher-style events. The first example of this was a Polish Parawatch user in 1993. SCP-6838 is an unknown anomalous force associated with mysterious bright lights in the forest of northern Ontario, mentioned in a Parawatch post by user Lux on April 7, 2019. SCP-6246 is a humanoid entity with a perpetually flaming head, first brought to the Foundation's attention through multiple user reports on Parawatch.net. SCP-6257 is a self-erasing, memetic, or cognitohazardous anti-meme that permanently immunizes individuals against memory alteration upon perception. First discovered after a 2020 SCP net breach resulted in its brief leak to the Parawatch forums. SCP-6191 is a phenomenon that retroactively alters records and memories of unexplained disappearances in North American forests. First identified through a 2020 Parawatch.net post by user It's the Banks, who described contradictory evidence surrounding vanishings of his siblings. SCP-6080 is an animate cardboard box labeled Eric's Cartoon Box that produces nostalgic children's media on VHS or DVD. It was discovered beneath a missing person's home, after a Parawatch.net post detailed a cursed Rocco's Modern Life tape sold by the eBay user Toon Collector. SCP-6599 is a hostile, anomalous internet presence, using the username Hogslice, first identified on Parawatch.net on March 28, 2008, after aggressively responding to a cryptid discussion post. SCP-5904 is a set of anomalous VHS tapes titled Human Resources Orientation, produced by Vikander Need Technical Media, Group of Interest 5998, first discovered in a 2016 Parawatch.net post by user MG Paranoid, who recounted an incident where classmates watched a partial section of the tapes. SCP-5668 is a poster for the lost 1924 silent horror film, The Angels Look at Us. It was first investigated after Parawatch Wiki user MonsterKill00 claimed his grandfather was able to recall the film's production. SCP-3840 is a burned humanoid entity that intermittently manifests near the boreal forest of Canada. On August 21, 2015, Foundation operatives located a phone among a heavily damaged campsite. The phone contained a photograph timestamped briefly before an SCP-3840 event. The individuals in the photo were holding a sign that referenced the Parawatch Wiki. Thank you all for watching, and a special thanks to all my patrons. If you want to help support this channel, go ahead and visit my Patreon for early access to videos, skip recommendations, and other Patreon benefits.